Hello everyone. In this video we will be working on the project that is required from you. So I'll start working on the project, showing you all the steps, and I will after you watch the video, if you have any questions, please contact me via Teams. So first of all, you're required to set up the units as centimeters. So what I will do here, I will go to customize units setup and then change it to centimeters. If it's already centimeters, just keep it, click OK, and continue working on your file. Then you need to set V-Ray as your renderer and then make the necessary adjustments to your file. This means that you need to change your render preset. So you can either go to rendering and then render setup, or you can press F10, or you have here, just let me move this a bit. Here you have render setup. This is the render frame window and this is for rendering. So I will click on render setup to open this window. From here, my renderer now is already V-Ray Advanced because I already set my file to be V-Ray Advanced. But what I need to do now is to change the preset. So I will click on this arrow, then I will click on load preset, then I will select the preset that we already gave you, and you have it in your Blackboard and Teams. So I will go to your file here, and then we gave it to you, I think, in week 2. Okay, so this is the preset. After you select it, click on open, and then from here make sure that you select all these options and then click on load. Now I have the preset here. We can start with the next step. Add spotlights and hidden lights to the kitchen ceiling. Please ensure that they look realistic. So here, as you can see, we have this area. I will just select one of the objects, click on P for perspective, F3 to change it to standard, and then Z for zoom. Then I can click on Alt and scroll to rotate my view. Okay, then you can zoom in, zoom out. These steps will help you see the file from inside. You can view everything and you can change. You don't need to hide the ceiling when you're working. So I have this lighting. I need to add IES to it. Okay, and I have the ceiling. I need to add hidden light inside this area. Okay, so I will start with the hidden light first. T for top view, F3 to change it back to wireframe, and then from here I will click on create lights, V-Ray, and I will select V-Ray light. I have auto grid on, so I will close it for now, and I will start by adding this plane. It will be until this box that I have here, which is where I will fix my lighting in real life. So I have this. Now I will rotate the lighting until the arrow is pointing in this direction, so 90 degrees. Then shift and rotate 90 degrees again. Make sure it's instant because we will change the settings after a bit. So click on OK. Move it in this direction. Okay, always make sure that when you're placing, this is my box, my guide. So when I'm placing the lighting, you need to make sure that this sphere is not inside the box that you have. Okay, the same thing for this side. I'll make sure that it's not going inside, it's just here, a little bit outside. And then using scale. So I noticed that a lot of you are not using shortcuts on your keyboard. Here at the top you have, this is select. In this case you will just select the object. Then you have, even this one is select, sorry. This is select. So in this case, I will select the object, but I cannot move it or do anything. I can just change these settings, for example, for modify. And then from here you have select and move, and then you have select and rotate, and then you have select and scale. So what you need to do here, if you're using your keyboard, it will be much easier for you. So you will press on Q to just select. You will notice that these are moving without me moving my mouse. I'm just pressing on my keyboard. So Q is for select, and then I have W for move, E for rotate, R for scale. So on your keyboard they are at the same order that you have them up here. Okay, so Q, W, E, R. So you will notice when I'm working, I'm using these shortcuts. So just keep up with me and make sure that you memorize them and get comfortable with them, get used to them. So now I have this lighting. I will press on R to change to scale, and I will select. I will scale it only in the X-axis. So this is X. From here, this is Y. Only the Y is in yellow. Now, if I go here, it will scale in X and Y, and if I go inside here, it will scale X, Y, and Z. I don't want to change any axis but the X-axis. So from here, I will scale it until I get the result that I need, and then I will just move it a bit here in X-axis. Now I have my lighting. I will go to modify and change the settings. So for the settings here, first of all, I will change the multiplier here. So let's say I want it to be 25. This you can change later on after you try the render and check if you need anything to be changed. Then you can increase or decrease. For now, I will just keep it as it is. I will keep it as 30. As for the color, usually, let me just search this for you. So we have something called light temperature. Okay, we've been using it already, but so you know, even when you go and buy lighting, okay, you will have these numbers on the box. Okay, so these are the temperatures of the light. So the temperature affects the color. Usually when we go and buy any lights, okay, they will ask us, do you want warm white or cool white or daylight? Okay, so usually lighting varies from yellow to blue. Okay, and we have white in the middle. So what are these temperatures? If I select this image now, you can see that usually for interior we go from 3000 to 4000. Okay, so if you want something a bit white, you can go with 4000, 4300, 4500 for the kitchen, for example. But then if you're working with bedroom and you want something very warm, you can go to 300 or 2700. You don't have to go with these numbers exactly. We have some options in between. Okay, so when you're working with lighting in 3D Max, usually, again, we go between 3000 to 4000 for interior. When we place a plane outside the windows to give us the daylight, we go with something between 5000 to, for example, 6500. So this will give us the daylight effect. Okay, so let's go back to the project. From here, I will change it. Instead of color, of course, if you want any other color, if you want the lighting to be purple, whatever, you can select it from here. But I don't want this color. I want to change it as a temperature. So I'll select temperature from here and I will change it, for example, to 3500. In this case, you will see that I have this color. The next thing to change in the modifiers here, we need it to be invisible. So I will click on invisible so I don't see the source of light. Okay, then I need to uncheck effect specular and reflection, because if it's visible, okay, you will keep this. If you don't want it to be invisible, if it's visible, you can keep it. But if it's invisible and you keep these two options, when you have any reflections or any mirrors, then you will see the box of light inside this mirror, even if it's invisible. It will be visible inside any reflective or specular objects that you have. Okay, so you will remove the text from these options. Now they are both the same because it's instant, so all the options are the same. So now we're done with this light. We will start adding the lighting for this fixture that we have. You can either go with desk if you want the effect to be just a general lighting, or you can go with IES. This is up to you depending on what you think will give you the real effect. Okay, for now I will try the desk, and then if I want to change it, I can add V-Ray IES. So I will select V-Ray light, change this to desk, and then again don't forget to change the temperature. Let's say I will keep it as 3500 again. Usually for kitchen we can go to 4000 because it's a working place that you need the lighting to be a bit white, not very warm, so you can work properly. And then again I will remove these and keep invisible. Why I'm keeping it invisible? Because I will add V-Ray light material to the light source to show it as visible. I don't need to show the disk. If I keep disk and I increase the multiplier, if I keep it visible, it will give me black edges around it, which means that the picture is burnt. So I don't need to burn my picture. I will just keep it as invisible, and then I will add V-Ray light material to the source. So P for perspective, F3 for shaded, Z to zoom in. Now I can rotate, I can make sure that my object is correct. Okay, so I don't see the lighting itself. Okay, I'll keep it this way. Just make sure that it's under the lighting. And then we will add the V-Ray light. So again, I will go to back, F3, make sure that the location is correct. Then Shift and move. I'm still pressing on Shift. I'm moving only in Y-axis, and then I will keep it, for example, here. Select instance, and then select the number of copies that you want. Now I have my lighting. If anything is a bit moved, you can just move it back a little bit. If everything is fine, you can keep it this way. Okay, so now I added spotlight and hidden light to the kitchen ceiling. Next, I will add V-Ray Sun to my project. So, again, create, lights, V-Ray Sun. From here, these are my windows, so I will add the sun in this direction. So, press and drag towards inside. Would you like to automatically add a V-Ray sky environment? Yes. And then yes to replace anything else that we had before. So any environment we had before, it will be replaced with the V-Ray sky. So now I'm in the top view. I will press L on my keyboard to go to the left view, W to change it to move, and then I will move it only in Y-axis up. After I add the sun, I will go to modify and change the settings. So I'll keep it as invisible because usually the sun, it will not be this near to the building. It's supposed to be far away. So instead of keeping it here, instead of moving it far, I will keep it here to get the effect that I want, but I will keep it as invisible. So I don't see the source. I don't see the sun from the window. Okay, and then for the intensity, which is the power of the sun itself, I will keep it as 0.05. For the size multiplier, we can control it later on. For now, I will keep it as 1. I will change here the shadow subdivisions to 15, so I can make sure that I don't have any noise. The shadow bias is supposed to be 0.002 millimeters. But because we're working with centimeters, you can either type this and press enter, 0.002 millimeters, okay, and press enter. This will give it to you in centimeter, okay. So 0.02 millimeters is 0.002 centimeters. The same thing for photon emit radius. It's supposed to be 5000 millimeters. So it will convert it directly to 50 centimeters. Okay, this you can increase or decrease depending on what you want. It's okay. And after you add the sun, everything is fine. Let's go now for the next system. If you already have your camera, if you add it at the beginning, you can start rendering every time you add something and make sure that everything is fine. For now, I will just follow the steps that we have in the project. Okay, so after this, search for ready blocks online of a dining table with chairs or sofa set with coffee table. So you can search for any blocks that you want for this area. You can, as we said, you can either do it as a dining area or you can do it as a setting area. So I already downloaded a lot of blocks before, so I will go to my blocks. If you don't have any blocks on your PC, you need to download, of course. When you download, just make sure that you go to a 3D website. So the first website we have is Archive3D. Okay, so it's archive3d.net. From here you can go through the categories and search for the furniture that you want and download them. The second website that we have is 3D Sky. When you open 3D Sky, okay, you need to register, and then you have a limit of 3 blocks every day. So for me, I prefer to download the blocks because the materials in this website are very good. Okay, so I will use them to download only the blocks that needs a lot of materials. So for example, if I go for decoration, and let's say I will select let's say I will go to vase. Let's see if we have something good. Okay, of course, because your account is only for free models, you can either download OM or free. Usually OM are a bit better in quality. Okay, so let's say I want this one. If I download this block, okay, and the materials are not realistic, if I'm adding the material, I need to create a material for the leaves, for the stems, for the water inside, for the glass, for the wood, for the flower. So it will take a lot of time just for an accessory. Okay, so in this case, because we said that the materials for this website are usually really good, you don't need to download the accessories from somewhere else. You can download this one and use it, and download the other blocks that you can create the material for them, and it's easier for you to create the material for them from the other websites. Okay, and always don't forget to every day download 3 materials and save them. So usually what I will do, for example, if I want to download this image, I will go here, first select save image, and I will create a folder for me always there. I will not delete it, I will not move anything from it. This is for 3D Sky blocks. So I will save this image and it will have this serial number. So when you save it, okay, then you can download this again in the same folder. So usually what I have here, this is 3D Sky blocks. For example, let's go to carpets. Inside carpets, I have this image, and this is the archive file. Again, this is the image, this is the archive file. What is the point of this? If you go and when you go next day and you want to download something, sometimes you will download it next day, sometimes after a very long time. So you will forget what you already have. So what you can do is right click, save the image at the same file. So here you will see that it will give me this 2 brackets with number 1 between them. This means that it will create a copy, which means that I already have an image with the same name. So in this case, I will not download it. I will not lose my free 3 models every day because I already know that I have this one. So I will go and copy it from the folder that I already have on my desktop and download something else. Okay, so back to the project. I need a dining table. I already have some blocks, so I will just go through the blocks that I already have so I don't waste any time now. So Okay, so let's say I will select, for example, this one. Okay, you can select anything from the website, download it, and place it in your file. Okay, I'm just trying to see something with good. Okay, so I will copy these, place them in the file that I'm working already in. Because I didn't create any folder, so don't forget always to create a folder. Always keep it on your desktop or inside some folder that, like for example, on the desktop I can create a folder named INTD 314 and place everything inside it. But don't keep folder inside folder inside folder. I noticed that some of you, what they're doing, they have a folder named, for example, university. Inside it, there is another folder for year 2. Inside it, semester 3, for example. Then inside you have INTD 314. Then you have project. Then you have the block itself, which is already inside many folders. So this will make the link when 3D Max is going to get this image. It is very far from the place that you're working on. Okay, so if it's very far from desktop, sometimes it will not be able to get the image itself. So always just keep it inside 1 or 2 or 3 files maximum, or folders maximum. So for example, I can create this folder. I will name it INTD 314. Inside it, I will keep my project folder. Okay, just don't take it far from this folder. So from here, I will just type project. Okay, this is project 1, for example. Inside you need to create folder for blocks, and folder for IES, and folder for maps and materials. Okay, so I'll keep it as maps, for example, and then I will create another one for materials. The difference between maps folder are the images that you will download from the internet. Materials is the full folder with the maps, with everything that you have. Okay, and then you can also create a folder for rendering. So whenever you're rendering even the test images, just save them inside this folder. So in case you lose your file or you want to go back and check if you for example, had a better image or whatever, you will always have all your renders inside this file. And then I will save my 3D Max as well inside here. Okay, so for now I copied my block. Inside of blocks, I will paste it and then select this file, right click and extract to the name of the folder. Okay. If you cannot open it, this means that you don't have the WinRAR program. So you need to install it so you can open these folders. Okay, so from the blocks, I will go here. Always before you insert any block inside your file, make sure to save it. If it's not saved, sometimes this will be very heavy or it will be corrupted and it will damage your file. Okay, so make sure to save it first. Then I will drag it here, select merge file and place it. Usually what you will do, you will find the blocks for the dining and then for the table, for the chairs separately, and then the table and then the lighting and everything. Here I have a block with all of these to save time. So I will just place them here. And then you can change and do whatever. Always when you bring any block, just make sure that the scale is correct. So I will just select a box, for example, and place it here. You can see that the dimension for this chair is around 45 by 35, which is okay for a dining chair. Okay, if you take this dimension, you'll see it's around 52 by 46 centimeters, which is good. If it's okay, you can keep it. If not, you need to scale it either bigger or lower to make sure that everything is fine. Okay, so now I have my table. I will keep it this way. I will just, for example, copy this. So I will select the chair, shift and rotate to create a copy, 180 degrees, instance, and then move it here. And you can add whatever accessories or whatever you want to do. So I will select this chair, press P for perspective, Z for zoom, and F3 to change it to standard, and I will rotate. Because this is a 3D sky block, I already have all the materials on it. I don't need to do anything with the materials. Okay, so I will keep them this way. I will not remove any of the materials that I already have. So later on, when I render, I will get a realistic render. Even if we require the white render, I will show you in this video how to do it again. Okay, here I have everything with me, but let's go back to the project. So search for ready blocks online for dining table or chair with sofa. I have them here. Import them into your model in 3D Max. Think about a suitable layout for your interior space when you add them. Search for a minimum of 4 accessories blocks online or create your own and add them to your living area or dining. So you need to add at least 4 accessories. Okay, I already have one here. Let's go and search for another one. And I think I already have something here with the blocks. Okay, I have this painting with the frame, so I will select this, for example, go back to the top of view, and let's say I will place it here. So always make sure that you group everything. So I will just group this and then rotate 90 degrees. And because this is not straight, you can see that it's in an angle. So I'll go back to the top of view and rotate until I get this view. Then again, P, F3, Z, and then rotate. Okay, and then you can place it wherever you want. So I will select align to make sure that it's near the wall. So align, click on the wall. Here in x-axis, I want the maximum to be to the minimum of the wall. And then click on OK. And then you can move it, or you can scale it, or you can do whatever you want to do. Okay, now we have this. Let's search for another accessory. I will just delete any extra things that I have here. I think all of this is extra. So again, you can search from the website, or because I already have some blocks, I will just go to the blocks that I already have. So let's go for decorative objects. You can either search for accessories, or for example, I will add a little bit more furniture, for example. Okay, so you're required to add 4 accessories. I have 2 now, one on the table and one on the wall, which is the painting. Okay, let's go with this one. I will create, or I will add a block of a console, and I will add these accessories to it. These are 2 accessories as well that you can use. So again, I copied the folder, or the file, sorry. I will go now to my project, which is, we kept it on desktop. Okay, so from the project, again, I will go to blocks, paste, select this, right click and extract, and then just drag it and drop it. Okay, I'll just keep it here for now because I want to create, or I want to bring a console here to this side. So let's search on the website. I want a console or a buffet table. Okay, I will click here on OM. If I didn't find anything in OM, I will then go to free. So let's see here. We have this one, for example. If you're satisfied with it, you can download it. If not, you can check the other things that we have. So, okay, let's download this one. I will open it. First, right click and save the image. Usually what I do is, as we said, I will go to my 3D Sky folder, save this image, make sure that I don't have any image with the same number, and then click on download and save it in the same folder. Always make sure that your renderer is V-Ray, not Corona. If it's Corona, you will have the block without the materials. Okay, so I will click on save. Then I will open the folder. After it finishes the download, I will copy both and transfer them, because this is the folder that I will keep forever with me. Every time I download any block from 3D Sky only, I will keep it here. So for now, I will select these two, copy, and I will go back to my desktop to the projects folder. Inside it, I will paste these two blocks inside this folder. Just a minute. Okay, yeah, we placed it inside INTD, then projects, and then inside blocks, again, I will paste, select, right click, extract. Now I have this block. So again, double click. Here you have 4 3D Max files. So these are for Corona, these are for V-Ray. So I will select V-Ray 2016 because my version is 2018. So I will select it, go to 3D Max, wait a little bit, then go here for the project, wait, and then place it here, and then select merge. Open, and then place it. Now I have two tables, so I will check which one I want. Okay, so let's say I will go with this one. It's up to you. I will just make sure that the materials are okay for now. So I will click here. I think the materials are not linked. So what I will do in this case, I will go to Customize, Configure User Path, External File, Add, and then I will go to the folder that I'm working on, inside Projects, and then from here I can select Add Subpath. So even later on when I add materials, maps, everything, it will work correctly. Okay, now it's supposed to be there. If I click, let me try. Okay, now it's showing. Okay, so again, I will select this one, go to the top view, top, and then I will select this, rotate in this direction, so this is 180, and then W and move it to this side. Okay, so let's say I want to keep it here. For now, I'm not following very proper designs. I'm just adding something to finish the project. But after you're done, you can move and make sure that everything is in the correct place. So I will keep this, for example, here. Because I want it to be on top of this table, again, P for perspective, F3 for standard, and then Z for zoom, and then Control and Alt for rotate. Okay, I will select this object, align to the top of the table. From here, I will uncheck X and check Z, minimum to maximum, so it will be on top. If I want it to be centered, I will select X and then center of the current object, which is this one, to the center of the target object, which is the table. Now I have it here, and then I will select this as well. Again, align to this table. So X-axis, I will keep it for now center, even the Y center, just to make sure that it's here. And then in the Z-axis, minimum to maximum. And then F3, so I can see, and I will keep one copy here, for example, and then the other one there. You can play around with the design according to what you need. For now, I'm just working fast, so I will not add any more designs to this project. So again, let's go to the PDF. it's asking you to add a minimum of 4 accessories. Let's count again. So this is 1, 2, and then we have these here, which is 3, and then we have the painting, which is 4. Next, design and model a gypsum ceiling with hidden lights and spotlights added to the new area you created. Okay, so let's go to this new area here. So we need to add a gypsum ceiling with with designs or with the grooves for the lighting, for the hidden light, and for the spotlight. So if you want to go with a simple design, this is up to you. If you want to do something complicated, again, this is up to you. So let's start working and we will see. So I will change the snap here to 2.5, and I will start from here to here. Why did I do this? Because I'm not sure about the dimensions and I wanted to start properly from here to here. Okay, and then click for the height. Now let's go to modify and change it. So this is supposed to be 460, and then my length is 676. So what I will do them both the same size. So I'll have a square. Okay, then I will change the height to 5 centimeters, which is 50. Okay, and then you can move it around. I usually prefer to work this way so I can make sure that everything is the proper way. Now I will use align to this, and then from the x-axis, maximum to minimum. So now it starts exactly from here. I will close the snap by pressing S, and then I will add edit poly and start working. So let's say I want this one to move, let's say, try for example 500, no, okay, so minus, okay, so I moved it 100. Okay, so you can play around here with the numbers until you get what you want. Then for example from here also I need to move it from the wall, let's say 250 millimeters, which is 25, so minus 25. Again, I will select these two, and then inside y-axis I will keep it as 25, sorry, not y, x. So I'll move it to minus 25. Here, let's say I wanted to start from this door, so from here to here the dimension is around 160, and I will add 100 here. So again I will go to y and type 170. So this is the ceiling or the lines around the table that I want. Okay, I will move these and group. Now they are grouped, and then I will click align to the ceiling only in X and Y. I don't want to move them in the Z axis center to center. Okay, and this is my frame. I used align earlier, but maybe I forgot to press OK. So in X axis maximum to minimum. Okay, I think there is something wrong, so I will just move it and make sure that it's in the correct position. And then in y-axis I want it to be centered, so I will align it to this table. So in y I want it to be centered to center. Okay, now when I go to my room here, you can see that it's this way. But because the ceiling that we created is on the floor, I need it to go up. I will align it to this ceiling, to the original ceiling. So in y-axis, I will select maximum to minimum. Sorry, in z-axis, maximum to minimum. Now when I press on F for front, F3 for wireframe, you can see that the ceiling is starting exactly from the original ceiling. I want to drop it down a little bit to add the hidden light. So in y-axis, minus 20 to add this for the hidden light, and then I will copy this again, Control V, copy, and then I will move it up 5, and then I will go here to vertex, select these two and move it 100. So the total will be, oh sorry, I'm used to work with millimeters, so if I enter a number wrong, just bear with me. So 150 or 15 to go exactly to the ceiling. From this side, let's see it on the top view so it will be more clear. And the x-axis, I will take it minus 15. From this side again, y-axis minus 15. From here, x-axis 15, and from this side also 15. So this is just to ensure that all the dimensions are correct. I will click here on Edit Poly. Now if I click on P, F3 and Z, I can see that I have just a minute. Okay. Now you can see that you have this. This is my ceiling that I will see, and this is the groove that is going inside, so I can add the hidden light all around. Okay, so now I will go back to the top view, T, F3, and I can copy this if I want them both to be the same thing. Okay, the same power, the same color, the same everything. If you want it to be different color or different power, then you will need to add the lighting again. So I will go again to create light V-Ray and then V-Ray light. From here I will add this to this side, then rotate on this axis 90 degrees. Always when you're rotating, make sure that you have angle snap on, because if it's off, it will be hard to sorry, I will close it now. It will be hard to control the degrees. You will see that, for example, I have 23.5, which is not something that you'll ever use. So I will click here to open it, right click on it, and make sure that the angle is moving every 5 degrees. So when I rotate 5, 10, 15, 20, so you can go to 30 or 45 or 60 or 90, which are usually the standard angles that we use. And then I will move it here, make sure that the dimension is correct. Sorry, W. Make sure that your dimension is correct. Then from the front view, this is something that I forgot to do here. Okay, so from the front view, you need to move this up. Make sure that this is up. So I will move these while I'm in the front view. Select this light and this light and move them up here. Okay, so again I will select this one, go back to the top view, E for rotate, press shift, keep pressing and move only in the Z axis until you get 180. Click on instance, OK, and then move it to this side. Select both together, E for rotate, shift and create another copy, 90 degrees. Instance, I will keep selecting both and I will move it here. Why I'm selecting both together? So in the next step I need to scale them. So R, and make sure that you scale only in x-axis, not x and y. So only in x-axis until you get the correct scale that you want. Then just select this one, W, and move it up. Okay, you can do it any other way if you have the end result this way, but for me I prefer to work this way, so it will be easier for me instead of scaling each one separately. Okay, so I added now the V-Ray planes for the hidden light. I need to add some spotlights as well in the new area. So you can either add a spotlight here. For me, I already have a chandelier block. Okay, so I will keep it with the block for on the table. You can add, for example, here 4. You can add some in these areas. This is up to you. So let's go and search for a spotlight. First I need the block, then I will add the IES. So I will go to my blocks, which is here. Let's go to light. Again, when you download anything from the 3D Sky, keep it in a folder so you can have easy access to it later. So let's go to Spotlight. These are all from 3D Sky website. You can either download them from there, or you can download from other websites and add the material yourself. So we have many options. If you have any spotlight that is going inside the ceiling, let's open it again. Okay. If it's going this way inside the ceiling, even if you can see the frame, it's going inside, you need to create an opening in the ceiling for this spotlight. Okay, so all of these, you need to create an opening. For this one, you don't need to. It's better, it will be realistic, but you don't need to. Even for this one, it will just stay outside. You don't need to create any openings on your ceiling. But for this one, for example, you need to, even for this one. Okay, so this will make it more realistic. Okay, so let's go with, I'll try this one as well just to make sure. Okay, yeah, if you have this, even if you put all of this above the box of the ceiling and you only show this part, it will still show even if you didn't create any opening in the ceiling itself. So I will add one of these just so you can see how to do it. Otherwise, if you have this option, something like this, you don't need to create any openings. Okay, so I will copy this image plus this folder, Control C to copy it, and then again I will go to my folder inside INTD project blocks, Control V, and then right click and extract. Now I have this folder. Okay, inside this folder I have, this is the 3D Max, and I have the IES files as well. They are available in here. Okay, it's all with the block. So for now I'll just select this 3D Max file, drag it and drop it inside your project. Merge file. Okay, and just to wait a little bit because I think it's a bit heavy. Okay, so now I have these blocks. Select any one of them, whatever you want, and then delete the rest. So for now I will delete these. Okay, and I will work with this one only. So first of all, I will keep one here. Let's see. Okay, I will delete this one as well. One of them I think is white, one of them is black, because I already have the materials. I don't need to add them later on. So I will select which one I want. Copy it as an instance. Select both. Shift and copy. Okay, and then let's say I want to keep one above this console, or if you want to add two, this is up to you. For now I think I'll just keep one. Okay, so now I will select these four. Make sure that they are aligned to the ceiling. So let's go to the front view, and then I will move them up this way. Okay, so this is the light itself. I want this edge to be under the ceiling, so they will need to be this way. You will see that in this block, I will hide everything else. It already comes with the cylinder. Okay, this is for extra, so you can make the opening in the ceiling. Okay, If it didn't come with this, you will need to go here to create, select cylinder, and add the cylinder exactly the same dimension of the lighting, and then move it up or down with the ceiling itself. So I will go back to the front view and hide all. Because this is a group, so I'll select 4 groups, 4 lights I have. Go to group and open. Select these 2 cylinders without the group, and then control and select these 2 cylinders again without this. Now I will move them down so I can select Boolean later on and subtract them. Okay, and I will create another copy because they are going even inside this box, so I'll create 2 copies. Now, so you can see clearly, I will keep it this way. I will select this box, which is for the ceiling. Go here to compound objects, probe Boolean, start picking, and I will delete this one, this one, this one, and this one. Now you can see that I have the opening and I can see the lighting from inside. So let's just move. Okay, but still I can see this ceiling. So again, I will select the other layer of the ceiling. Okay, and I will press F3 so I can see the cylinders. I think they got deleted because they were instance. So, okay, I will just create another cylinder from 0. So I'll go back to top of view, standard, cylinder, and create a cylinder from the center here to this size. So this is what you will usually do because it will not always be there. And just give it any height that you want. Usually the height needs to be, let's go from the front and check the height. So you need to make sure that it's crossing with the ceiling here until you reach the end of the slide. Okay, add some extra sides. Make sure when in the top view, I will show you, make sure to align it X, Y, and to be center to center. The Z axis we've already fixed. Now shift, or you can just press Ctrl and V and it will give you a copy in the same place, and then you can align it to this. Okay, I will show you from the perspective so you can see what I'm doing. Okay, so this is 1 and 2. We need 2 more. So Ctrl V to copy, align to this X and Y, and OK. Again, Ctrl and V to copy, align to this lighting, and OK. This will ensure that it's exactly in the center of the light. Then select this ceiling, go to compound objects, probe Boolean, start picking, and remove. These steps, you're supposed to know them from last semester. Okay, so if you have any questions about them, just let me know. For now, I'm done with this area. Again, I will do this for this spotlight here. But let's say that I want to add another design to the ceiling. I'm not done with the design of the ceiling. So let's say I will just take a box and let's say that I will start, for example, from here to there. Okay, so I will create a box from this part. Usually I need to select snap so I can make sure that the box is correct. And let's say I want it to be here. Okay, and let's say that the height is 10 and the length I will keep it as 20, or let's say even 50. Okay, this is up to you. I'm just creating any design now. You don't have to do all of this. You just need to create a design that contains these lights. If you want to go the extra step, this is up to you. So let's say I'll keep it this way. I'll just go to the front view, make sure that it's aligned with the ceiling, which is this one. So in y-axis, maximum to minimum. Then I will go back to the top view and then shift and copy. If you want specific dimensions, which is what you should do, now I have this as 10. First of all, I will align it to the wall here. So in the y-axis, minimum to maximum. So it will be exactly at the beginning of the wall. Then I will go to Tools, Array, and I will click here on Preview. In the y-axis, I need, for example, let's say 5 copies, and I want to move them, let's say again 20. Okay, so here you can add more copies according to what you want. Let's say I'll just keep them this way. Okay, and I kept them as instance, so if I change anything, it will change on all of them. Now I have this spotlight that I've placed here, so I'll make sure that it's in the center. I will scale it to make it smaller because I don't want it to be this big. I want it to be a spotlight only. And then from the front view, I will move it up. Where is it? Oh, okay, it's down here. So I'll move it up and make sure that it's inside the ceiling. Okay, so if it's inside one of these strips that I created, I'll make sure that the same thing that we did for that one, to keep it this way, I will just click on Group, Open, and move this one down. Then select, go back, select this strip. Again, you will go to Compound Objects, Pro Boolean, start picking, and from the front view, I will select this. Okay. Now let's say I'm done with the design of the ceiling. We did a lot of steps, a lot of things just to cover whatever you might need later on. Okay, next step is add 2 V-Ray cameras to capture your kitchen and living room or dining room. So you have two options. One of them is to drag and drop the camera, the V-Ray camera file that I already gave you, and we explained how to do it in class. For now, I will use the physical camera, so I'll go here to Camera and Physical. In the physical camera, first of all, you will place it wherever you want. So let's say I want one camera to be from here. I'm standing here and I'm looking this way. And let's say that I want the other camera to be from here to here. But what I will do, I will change the settings for one camera and then I will copy it. And instead of creating two cameras and changing the settings 2 times. Okay, so I have this camera. Now I will go to Modify. In Modify, you need to change the width to 50 and the focal length to 40. We said, let me just open the camera. Okay, when you have any camera, just make sure that to move it up until you have the eye level, which is around 100, 120, depending on the height of the image or the ceiling. So let's say I will keep it this way. Okay, always make sure that all your lines or your vertical lines are straight. So when you're moving or rotating, make sure that you have angle snap on and don't keep it this way or this way. Okay, always make sure that these are straight and then you can rotate, okay, in these directions. So I will just rotate this way a little bit and I'll move it here so I can see this and this together. Okay, you can add more than one camera. This is up to you. You don't have to stick to 2 cameras only, but the minimum requirement is 2 cameras. Okay, so this is one of the cameras. Now we said that we have the width as 50 and focal length as 40. This you can increase a little bit to zoom a little bit out or inside. But to make it realistic, you need to stick with 50 and 40. You can go here down to 45 up to 55. Again, this one you can go down to 30 and up to 40. Okay, so this way you can see that this is starting to look a bit not realistic. So I will again change it a little bit to 35 if you want to keep it as 40, this will be much better. Okay, then what I will do here, I will go to shutter speed, select 1 2 seconds and change this to 100. This will give you more light from the camera, so it will minimize the use of light that you have inside here. Okay, and then for the exposure, I will select manual and I will keep it as 800, which again will give you more lighting from the camera itself. That's it. For now, I will keep it this way. If you want to zoom out more, you can zoom out more, but you will get the wall that is behind you. So in this case, you need to go here, select clipping planes and increase this number. So when you increase this number, it will start to cut the place of your render. So you will not start the render from the camera, you start it after, for example, 140. But in this case, you need to make sure that you don't cut any of the walls or the flooring while you're doing this. Okay, so always make sure that, for example, okay, I can start from here because now I'm not seeing any of the walls or the cabinets that are behind me that are cutting because of the camera. Otherwise, you can just zoom in and out until you get the result that you want. Okay, so for me, I think I'm fine with this view, for example. Then I need to add the second camera. So in this case, I will go again to the top view, select this camera, shift and move, and select copy. And then let's say I will keep it here. Just press on C and then you can rotate. This will be easier. So click on the scroll on your mouse and move, and then click on orbit camera and rotate. So I'm moving and rotating until I get the result that I want, and you can zoom in or out depending on what you want your view to be. So let's say this is my second view. Now we have two V-Ray cameras. Then produce a white rendered image of the kitchen with lighting in 150 resolution. Produce white rendered image for living or dining area. So here or now you're supposed to be done with all the cameras, with all the lighting and all the blocks, okay? But because we were working with material and blocks at the same time, for example, I already have the material here. I don't want to remove it to render a white render. Then it will be hard for me to get it back. So what I will do in this case, okay, you can either delay the render to the end after you're done, or you can do it now. It's up to you. But to render a white render without removing the materials that you already have, you will need to click on M to go to materials, select any empty slot here, click on get material, and then write V-Ray MTL. Now I have this V-Ray material and I will change the diffuse to white. Then I will click here on rendering, render setup. Then click on V-Ray, global switches, and check override material. So it will override all the materials that you have with this material. So I will drag it and drop it here. And then keep it as instance. Now I have it here. Now when I click on render, it will render the image and it will give me a white render. Okay, so now you can see that we have this white render. If you have any glass on the windows, here you can see that the windows are already with no glass. So if you have any glass on the window, you can remove, you can hide it. So you can do this render. Now when you're working with this render, you need to adjust the lighting according to what you need. So if you want, for example, to make it a bit lower, this IES, you can lower the power, you can increase this power. This is up to you. You can play with the lighting until you get the result that you want. Okay, I will not wait for the render to finish for now. Just one more thing that I noticed here, this lighting is a bit white or bluish, so I think in this case I will need to change the temperature. Maybe I forgot to do this, so I will change it. And also for the sun effect, okay, it's already inside, so I don't need to do anything. But if you see that it's a little bit harsh, this sun effect, I will show you how to make it softer by blurring all these edges. Okay, so these are the lightings that I have. If you want to add any general lighting, you can. If you're satisfied with the amount of lighting that you already have, that's okay as well. So I will just press on ESC, escape, to close the render for now, and I will close this window. So now let's go with the what we said, yeah, the lighting here, this one. You can see that I forgot to change the temperature, so I will change it, let's say, to 4000. And again, for the kitchen lighting, I will change it to 4000 as well, so it will not be very yellow. Okay, then for the sun, I will change the size multiplier here to, for example, 2 instead of 1. This will give me a little bit blur on the edges of the lighting that is coming inside, so it will not be very harsh. And let's say I will change the direction to this side so I can see the effect on the other side. This is all up to you. You can play around until you get the result that you want. One more thing here, it says to produce a white rendered image in 150 resolution with A5 landscape. This means that I cannot stick to the dimensions that I already have in the render setup, or the image ratio that I have here, which is 1.333. This is not for A5. So to make sure, I will go to customize, to rendering, and then print size assistant. From there, I will change here the paper size to A5. Make sure that it's landscape, and then I will select 150 for the resolution, and then I will click on render setup again. Now you can see that it's changed. So now this is the image aspect, the new image aspect, and I have the width and height correctly. So now when I click even on the camera, you will see that it's changing. Okay, I noticed some of you, let's make this a bit bigger so it will show the difference. When you're working this way, and when you render, the image is not the same as what you will get in the render. Okay, so when you click on Shift and F, this will open the save frame. This means that this is exactly what you will get in the render, and the other area here, it will be black. You will not see anything inside it. So this is exactly your rendered image. So when you're working with the camera, always make sure that you press Shift and F to see the image that you will get in the render, and then zoom in or zoom out depending on what you want, and then render, so you can get the exact render in your the exact view that you're seeing in the render. Okay, so if you're satisfied with what you have, then after you're done with 2 renders that are required, the white renders that are required from you, don't forget to go back to render setup, and then go again to V-Ray global switches and remove the tick from override material. So now when you render, you will get all your materials back. Okay, so now I have all my materials back. Of course, I will need to add materials on all the objects that are with no material, so I can get the correct lighting, because now it's reflecting these boxes that are not in V-Ray. Okay, so let's go back to the project and see the requirements. So add a minimum of 4 materials created from scratch using V-Ray to interior space. Please rename the materials to be M dash the type of the material. For example, M dash wood, M dash plastic, M dash marble, so on. Okay, and add a minimum of 4 materials downloaded from V-Ray Materials website to the interior space. Rename the material as D so I can tell which one is yours and which one is downloaded. Okay, and then you just need to render. So the only steps that we need to do now are the materials. So again, I will create a material for the walls. So let's select a material and then click on get material, and then type V-Ray MTL. So I'll start with the walls. This is V-Ray MTL. Let's say I want the diffuse color to be white. Then you can change it if you want to according to your design. I will add a little bit of reflection, not too much. One more thing I forgot to do, open the background so you can see the effects of reflection and refraction. Don't forget to change the name because you will lose marks if you didn't. So M dash and then wallpaper. Okay, so I have diffuse, I have little bit of reflection, and I will change this to 0.65 so I can get this effect. And then I will go to bump because I need a little bit of texture. In the maps, from bump, click bitmap, and I will go to the folder with the maps, and I will select Stucco textures, which are these textures. You can select whatever you think is fine for your scene. So let's say I will go with this one. Okay, so now I have this texture. We'll go back and I will add this to this box in the ceiling. I will add it to this one and I will add it to the walls. Okay, so I have these 3 walls and I have this one as well. Okay, so now I added the materials, but also I will add it to these boxes here. Okay, so assign material to the selection. But because I have a map here, if I click now on show, it will not show me here. Okay, so when you select the bump bitmap and then click on show, you can see it. Okay, this is not the color of the material, this is the bump or the texture. So I will select all the objects and I will add UVW map once to all of them, or you can add it to one of them and then you can drag it as we discussed in the class. So UVW map, sometimes it will not show here. This means that you're selecting something that you cannot add UVW map to it. So if you don't know what you did, okay, you can just select one of them, add UVW map, okay. So now I can see that when I select this wall, I cannot add UVW map to it. Why? Because it's a boolean. So just right click here and then editable poly, and then when you write UVW map, you will find it here. So box, let's say I'll keep it as 400 or 40 because we're working with centimeters by 40 by 40. If you think that this effect is fine, you don't have any problems with it, then you can drag it and drop it. If you want to scale it, click here, select Gizmo, and then scale. After you're done scaling, click back on UVW map so you can select other objects. Okay, now copy it to the other boxes that you have. So I will just drag it and drop it, drag and drop, drag and drop. Okay, the same thing for the others. Okay, so instead of a drag and drop, I will just select all of them and add another UVW map, which for me is easier. So from here I will add UVW map box, and then I will write the numbers again. Okay, so now I have it. Again, don't forget this original ceiling. You can add the material to it. I didn't do it. And then select any other box and add it. Go back to parent and then click on show so you can see the colors of the material here. Sorry, this needs another L. Okay. So now I can see the colors of the walls and the ceiling. If you want to create another material for the walls, you can copy it here. And I will change this to wall paint 2, for example. And then I will change, sorry, not the reflection. I will go to diffuse, which is up here. And I can select any color that I want. So let's say I will go with very dark or navy blue. Okay, and I will drag it and drop it here. Let's say that I want to go with the dark shade, so I have this color only on the walls without the ceiling. So now I have two materials here. Okay, but I prefer that you create 4 different materials. Like even if you have like 4 wall paints, this will not count as your materials for the project because you're just copying one material. So create 4 different materials. But because I want the walls to be different colors, so I copied it. You don't have to stick to 4. Minimum of 4 only. You can add as many as you want. Okay, so this is one of the materials. Let's go to the second camera, or yeah, I will go to the second camera in a bit, but for now I will just check this material that I already have. Okay, so I have this material here. It's just a color. I don't think we have, it's just a color with reflection. I don't think we have any bump. Okay, so this is a glossy UV coat, which we can use for doors as well. Okay, if your door is without any textures, you can just drag this one. For example, I will drag it and drop it to this part instead of searching for a material. Again, because I already have a block with materials, I will do this. But this will not count as the 4 and 4 materials that are required. I'm just doing this to make sure that my scene is completed. Okay, you can see here when I drag this to the handle, it's adding it to the scene or to the whole object. So what I will do, I will select this, go to group and open, select the inside door, select element, select everything, and then alt and remove the door. So now I have all these objects. Then I will click here on assign material to selection and close it again. Sorry, because I already have this material, now I will select this one and add it. I forgot that I added the black one. Okay, so now I have 2 materials, one for the door itself and one for the accessories. The same thing I will do here for the frame. I will select element and select Control All. Why I'm selecting Control A to select everything? Because it's easier to just remove the frame instead of selecting all of the other things, the small things. Okay, again I will select this one and then assign and then close. Now I have my door, it's ready. I have material on the frame, I have them on the wall, on the furniture. So basically most of this is done. I just need to add material to this. So you can either create one yourself or you can add one from the one that you already have. So let's just check. I think I will go with the wood that I already have here. Okay, and I will add my 4 materials or my 8 materials all to the kitchen. So I think this is the wood material. I will drag it and drop it on this object. Okay, so it's already here. Then don't forget to add UVW map box and change the scale here. So let's say I want it to be 10 by 10 by 10. Make sure that it's okay. If not, you can move it or rotate it or scale it or whatever. So again, I will add this here and to this one. I already added UVW map to the first one because they are all instance. They all have UVW map. I don't need to add anymore. Okay, so I think this is done for now. You need to add material for the frame. So let's say for the frame I want it to be this gold material that we already have here in the table. So I'll just select this material, which is gold, and I will drag it and drop it to this frame. Okay, or I will select and select assign material to selection. So again, these materials are up to you. If you don't have any materials on your blocks, you can you can download them and then assign them. Okay, just let me check something. Yeah, we had a copy here, so I need to add this here and drag this. This is, I think I did it by mistake. Again, for this one, the same thing, and it's supposed to be up on all the windows. So again, this is not required from you. Sorry, stuck. I forgot to save, by the way. All this time I forgot to save. So always make sure that you save every 5 to 10 minutes so you don't lose your file. Otherwise, if it's gone, you will have to repeat everything from zero. Okay, I'll just give it some time and then I'll come back to it. So unfortunately, because I forgot to save and the file crashed, I couldn't get it back. So what I will do now, I will go to documents, then downloads, then 3D Max, AutoBack, and I will check my AutoBacks if I have a copy. So the last AutoBack I had is at 5:29 and now it's 6:30, so it's 1 hour ago. So I will just copy it, Control C to copy, and I will go to my folder, which is inside INTD314 project, and paste, and I will change the name to project 1. So because I didn't save, I don't think the file is complete. I will just open it and I will see with you what will happen. But the parts that are we're supposed to have, or the parts that we didn't do, are the materials only. So even if this is not complete, I will just do the materials with you so you can see how to do them, and then you will just need to render the renders that are required from you. So let's see. Okay, you can see that I lost almost everything I did. Okay, so for now I will just do the materials with you. As we said, I will select M for material editor, and then from here I will click on get material, V-Ray MTL, and I will start adding the material. So the first one that we already did is the wall paint, so this was M for wall. And then let's see what we have here. So let's say I want to create the metal for this part. If you have more materials to create, for example, if I can do the cabinet, this is my number 2. I can add very light material here, which is number 3. And then let's say I will add marble or something to the wall. So this is number 4. When I download, I can download the flooring, for example. And I can download a material for the metal here for this part. I can download marble for this part, for example. So you can download 4 materials and 4 more you create from 0. And then the rest you can either take the materials that you have from blocks, or you can create more, or you can download more. This is up to you. But at the end you need all of the objects to have materials. Even if the requirements are 4 and 4, you cannot render with something with no material. This will give you a difference in lighting, and your photo will not be realistic. Okay, so let's create the materials for now. So I have this one, which is a V-Ray material. I will change the name to, let's say, and then let's say I will create Chrome. You have some settings in the PDF, so you can check them. For diffuse, let's say I want it to be dark. Open this, open the background so I can see. Then I will increase the reflection. If you want it to be more reflective, I will keep it, for example, this way, and remove personal reflection. So this will give me a mirror effect. So when I make it less, it will give me this black mirror effect, or black chrome effect. Okay, I don't need any other thing in the settings, so I can just drag it and drop it. Okay, let's say I want to create leather for this part. So again, click on Get Material, type V-Ray MTL, change, sorry, I think this is the one. Change the name to M, and then let's say leather. Then from diffuse, I will add bitmap, search for a seamless leather map. Okay, otherwise you can go to this folder, and I think we have it in fabric texture. You can see the leather effect. We have, this is for bump. And yeah, we can add this one, for example. So let me close this and open this one. So this is my leather. You can copy this map to bump, or you can add another one, but usually I prefer to copy it so I can get the same grooves in the image itself. So okay, and I will increase this more so I can see the effect. Okay. And then again, we need a little bit of reflection in the leather. So I will add a little reflection, and don't forget to change this to 0.65 or 0.6 even, because it's not reflective, but it has this effect on it. And you can decrease it a bit more. Okay, so let's say this is my leather. I will drag it, drop it, click on Show Shaded Material in a viewport. Because my material, we have a bitmap in the material itself, then again, don't forget to select this object and then add UVW map to it, select box, and then change these numbers to be the same. Let's say 30 by 30 by 30, and then select this again and scale it until you get the effect that you want. If you're satisfied with the effect, then you can drag this here and this here. The same thing for the third one, so I will drag the material and then I will drag the UVW. Let's create another material here. I think that this is glass, so we can add glass for it, for example, or we can add metal, and then we'll add V-Ray light for this one. I'm not sure which one is the light source, but I think it's this torus that we have here. So again, click here, V-Ray light, MTL. Change the color to be something similar to the light that we've created. So something like this. Change the intensity to be, for example, 3. Make sure that you check these 3 options, and then drag and drop. So I think this is the light source that we have in this block. Okay, and let's say that this is frosted glass. So again, don't forget to change the name of the material. So this is kitchen light. Okay, I will create another one, or you can download another one. Okay, so now we have these three and we've done one for the wall, so these are four. So let's go to download. From here I will go to V-Ray materials. Okay, and then I will go to all materials and I will select glass. From glass I need something that is frosted. So something similar to this one, but I don't want this pattern, I want it to be frosted only. So just let's wait for the images a little bit. Okay, I will try this one. I will try this one, and let's type frosted. Okay, maybe this will be good as well. So I opened all three tabs. Now I will check. So this will take 2 minutes, which is good. If this is okay, you can keep it. Okay, I'll open them all again because now I'm signed in. So let's refresh and then I will open this one. Let's try. Okay, so this will take around 4 minutes and it will give me this effect. If it's fine, you can download it. If not, you can search for another one. So I will click on download, go to desktop, to my folder, inside project, inside materials. I will save it, and I prefer to save the image as well as a reference for me later. If I need this material, I know that this is the one. Okay, so it will take a bit of time. Let's download another material. Let's say I want something for the cabinets. Sorry, it's taking a bit of time because I'm recording the screen. Okay, since the material is taking a bit of time, I downloaded another one for now. We'll try it and then I will do the other one, the glass. So this is my material. Right click and then extract. It will give you this folder. Inside the folder, you have the material library and then you have the images that you need. Okay, so what I will do, I will go back to 3D Max. From here, I will click on Get Material, click on this arrow, and then Open Material Library. From here, I will go to Desktop, INTD, Projects, Materials, and this folder, and then I will select this one. Now it's already open. Double click on it, and you will get it here. So for this material, always make sure that when you click here, double click on the material, you can see all the images. If any of the images is missing, just go to maps. Inside maps, make sure that you open all the bitmaps that you have and relink them again. So I will click on this one, and then here I will click on the bitmap, and I need wood diffuse. So when I click on it, I will go to the folder that I used for the material. So here we have it inside this project materials, and from here I will select this one, which is the same name, and link it. Again, I will go back, do the same thing for reflection and refraction. Since I don't have any problems, I can start using the material. So let's say I will add it to my flooring. So drag and drop. Then don't forget to add UVW map. So I will add here UVW map box. Let's say I want it to be 70 by 70 by 70. This is a bit small, so I click on UVW map here, and then R for scale, and then scale it. When you reach the scale that you want, if everything is fine, then you can close it. I think it needs it to be a little bit bigger. And then I will close it. Okay, and that's it. I have the material. Now let's go to the other material. I think it's done downloading, which is this glass. Right click, extract. Now I have it here. I will go to M for material. Select any empty slot, click on get material, open material library, and then go back to desktop. Again, INTD, projects, materials, and frosted glass, and select this one. It's here now, so I will double click on it. Now I have it here. If everything is fine, you can start using it. If it needs any change or anything, you can do it. So what I will do, because now I'm not inside the room, I will click on F3, select the object, P for perspective, Z to zoom in, and now I'm inside here. So the glass, I needed it for this part, for example, so I will keep it here. Okay, so now this is frosted glass. Again, open any map that you have, click on show. If you cannot see it here, this is because the refraction is white, so it's clear. So because I know that I need it to be white, what I will do here, I'll just keep it as black so I can see the picture, change the UVW map, and then I will take it back to white. Okay, so now I have it here as black. Then I will open one of the images, click on show shaded material and viewport, right, or add the UVW map box and change the scale. So let's say it will be 10 by 10 by 10. Okay, I added it on the wrong. Okay, so now this is correct. If you want it to be bigger or smaller, you can increase or decrease depending on what you want. When you're done, go back and then show. It will show you the diffuse color. Then go back to refract and change it back to white. Okay, this means that you have the scale correct for the maps, and then the material is similar to what you want. Okay, so this is what you need to do for the project. From here, don't forget to add D dash to any material that you download. Again, D dash. So I'll just go back to the PDF one more time, make sure that everything is correct. So I'll make it bigger. Again, we did the units. We added the V-Ray preset or render preset, added spotlight, hidden light to the kitchen ceiling, V-Ray sun. We've added ready blocks for the extra area that we have, and then 4 accessories at least. Design or model gypsum ceiling. We did this and we added the hidden light and the spotlights. We added 2 V-Ray camera to capture the kitchen and a living or dining area. Produce white renders, so you need to do 2 white renders in 150 resolution A5. We added a minimum of 4 materials created from scratch, and we added the renaming part, so M dash the type of material that you have, and then again 4 materials downloaded, and don't forget to add D dash to this. The last step that you need to do is to render the 2 cameras again with the material that you added to the scene that you have. Okay, so that's it for the project. Points to consider: please note that you will be judged on your design skills and how realistic your final renders. So as I was working on my scene, I told you, okay, the minimum material is 4. for the ones that you create and for the materials that you download. But this doesn't mean that this is enough. You need to be more realistic, because this will count in your marks. So add more materials, even if you don't create them, even if they came with the block itself, or even if you copy them to the places that you have. This will make your model much more realistic. Okay, if you keep it all as like, if you just stick to 8 materials, this will never be realistic for your render, especially because we have lots of details here. So I need a material for this part, I need for these different material, for example, and then again we have this, we have the inside part, we have some accessories here that we need to add materials to. Make sure that when you're working, some of the objects are not in the same place or in the exact place that they need to be in. So for example, if you notice this, that you need to change this one, this will count as more marks for you. If it's this one, for example, you need a little bit to move it up. And if you don't want to add materials to these accessories, to the small accessories, you can download some accessories with materials ready, or you can add materials to these scenes. The same thing for this upper part. When I was adding the material, I noticed that this is here, it's here, but you cannot find it in the other windows. This means that you need to copy it and place it in all the other places. So this will count more in your marks, because you're paying attention to the details that you need to put in your files, also always to get the realistic renders. Okay, so if you're using another version of 3D Max or V-Ray, always make sure that in addition to the archive file and the renders, you attach a 3D Max with a lower version. So to do this, you will go to the 3D Max file, go to File, Save As, and save it in a lower version. So for example, 2017. Then go to File and Archive and save it, and then attach both plus the 4 images for your render, which means you have total of 6 files instead of 5. Okay, and always make sure that everything you can open without any problems in 3D Max 2018 prior to working and submitting this project. You are advised to upload all the materials on Blackboard Ultra a minimum of 12 hours before the deadline to avoid having any problems, especially as your files might take a lot of time to upload if they are huge in size or your internet connection is weak. This is true. I tried to upload the videos for you and they took a lot of time, so always make sure when you're uploading something to give yourself minimum of 12 hours to be safe. Okay, as you can see, we've done with the project and around maximum of 2 hours with explaining. So you're supposed to finish again in 2 to 3 hours, and you already have a lot of time. We've given you the project from a very long time, and you still have till Thursday. So if you finish and submit on Wednesday, this will be much better for you to be in the safe side. Remember to save your 3D Max file as increments to avoid repeating a lot of work if you start. As you can see now, when I was working, I had a problem and the software crashed and I had to do it all over again. So always when you're working, and instead of just saving, what I prefer to do is click on Save As. Okay, and usually it will be inside your folder. So for example, I'm already saving inside here. Okay, so this is project 1. So this is the second copy, so I'll save it as project 2. Again, after 5, 10, 15 minutes you're working, click on Save As again, and then just press plus here. So this will change the name of your folder to project 3, for example. Again, after 10, 15 minutes, Save As and plus. Okay, so this is project 4. File, Save As and plus. So what this will ensure is that you always have a copy of your file, even if this crashes the software, then you come to open the last one and it didn't open, so at least you can go back to this one. Or sometimes you saved this but it had a block that is corrupting your file, or it's very heavy, or there is any other problem, at least you have the previous versions to go to. Okay, so always make sure to save as and click on plus. If you don't want to have lots of files on your PC, you can save every 5 minutes, and every 15 to 20 minutes, for example, select save as. Okay, so this is just for you to be on safe side. For the submissions, you have 4 images. We said 2 white renders, 2 colored renders, and the archive, and you need the digital copy of the submission form, which is this one. So here you will write your name, ID, and section. Then the downloaded materials you added. So for example, D-hallway wood something, D-frosted glass. So whatever names that you have. And then list of materials you created. So wall paint, glass, whatever you did. And list of accessories added to the living area or dining area. So we said a minimum of 4 accessories. So because now I lost my work, so I will show you on these accessories that we already have here. So you have this accessory. When you select it, you will have this name here. You can either keep it the same and write it in the paper, or you can change this to, for example, you name it and then type or write the name in the paper. Okay, so let's say I will select the whole block, okay, and then rename it to knife. Of course, if you're selecting more than one object, it needs to be a group, so you can rename it. So from here, I will write knives, for example, and it will be there. Microwave, the same thing. So you'll do the same steps for your accessories and write them here, and that's it. This is your project. So I wish you good luck. Again, if you have any questions, please let me know, and make sure that you submit the project again before the submission time on Blackboard. Thank you and have a good day.